It felt like slow motion. The moment the red wine arced through the air, I remember thinking, no. Not again. Please, not again. But it hit. A dark, blossoming stain spreading across delicate white lace, right there on my wedding dress. And Chloe, my sister-in-law, just laughed. A bright, unbothered laugh, like it was all part of some macabre joke. I honestly don't know how I managed to keep standing. My stomach had already dropped to my feet earlier that evening, the second she walked into our Halloween party wearing it. My actual, custom-made wedding dress. The one my parents, Sarah and Mark, had gifted me, costing nearly $20,000. It was a masterpiece of intricate beading and lace, a symbol of one of the happiest days of my life, carefully preserved in a garment bag after the wedding. And there she was, Chloe, all of 20 years old, twirling around in it, dramatic Halloween makeup smeared on her face, fake blood on her hands. She looked less like a spooky bride and more like a careless child playing dress-up with something priceless. It was surreal. People were complimenting her costume, completely oblivious. I was just frozen. Speechless. How had she even found it? I'd tucked it away so carefully, assuming it was safe. When I finally found my voice, I asked her where she got it. She just shrugged, so casual, saying she found it in storage and assumed it was some old, cheap dress no one wanted anymore. I mean, who looks at a custom-made, intricately detailed gown and thinks it's old and cheap? But that's Chloe for you. Always a bit impulsive, never thinking things through. The wine was the final blow. My heart literally seized. It wasn't just a dress. It was a keepsake, a memory, a tangible piece of my joy, and now it was ruined beyond repair. Ethan, my husband, finally noticed my face. When I whispered what had happened, the color drained from his face, replaced by a furious flush. He confronted Chloe immediately. And that's when it seemed to hit her, just a little. Her face went pale as he explained what she was wearing, what she had ruined. But even then, there wasn't real remorse. Just a bewildered, I didn't know. I didn't mean to. The rest of the night was a blur of polite goodbyes from guests, and me, just staring at the mangled mess of fabric, unable to process it. Days turned into weeks, and I couldn't shake it. Every time I thought of my wedding, I saw that red stain. My in-laws, Diane and Robert, Chloe's parents, were horrified when they found out. They offered to pay for cleaning, even replace it, but they didn't understand. It wasn't about the money. That dress was irreplaceable. Chloe's apology was lukewarm at best. It was just a dress, she'd say, a mistake. Just a dress, as if it wasn't the most sentimental thing I owned, a gift from my loving parents. Ethan wasn't letting it go. He was done with her flippant attitude and her complete lack of accountability. He decided she would pay for the dress. And since she was in college with no job, he did the unthinkable. He took the money from the college fund he had set up for her years ago. The fallout was immediate and explosive. Chloe lost it. She screamed at Ethan, calling him unfair, heartless. She ran to Diane and Robert, playing the victim, saying we were ruining her future. They, in turn, started hounding us, saying Ethan was being too harsh, that she was just a kid who made a mistake. They wanted me to talk to Ethan, to make him reconsider. They couldn't grasp that to Chloe, it was merely an accident, but to me, it was a profound loss. I refused to get involved. This was Ethan's decision, and frankly, I felt she deserved the consequences. The relentless messages started, from Chloe, from Diane and Robert, from other family members who only heard Chloe's skewed version of events. She alternated between anger and pathetic pleas. "You're ruining my life over something petty," she'd accuse, then switch to, "Please, you have to fix this with Ethan." Diane even showed up at our house, trying to guilt-trip me, talking about how hard Chloe worked for college, how young she was. I just listened. I wasn't going to be manipulated. Ethan stood firm. He told his parents that if they wanted Chloe to learn a lesson, she needed to face the full weight of her actions. that he wasn't going to give her an easy way out. Chloe, meanwhile, was painting us as villains on social media, garnering sympathy. It was exhausting. Everyone had an opinion. Some agreed with us, others thought we were monsters. Then, Diane and Robert, after much hemming and hawing, actually stepped up. They told Chloe they'd cover her tuition, but she had to get a job to pay for her other expenses. And Chloe, who had never worked a day in her life, threw another tantrum. She hated it. Complained constantly. Still, the victim. After that, the relationship crumbled completely. Chloe cut off Ethan, and he, frankly, was relieved. He was tired of her entitlement. She still ignored me, pretending I was invisible at family gatherings. I didn't care. She hadn't shown an ounce of real responsibility or a genuine apology. Then came the real shocker. Ethan had left a small portion of money in her college fund, just in case she showed some remorse. One day, he got an alert. Chloe had tried to access the account, trying to steal the remaining funds. That was the absolute last straw. He confronted her, hoping for some glimmer of shame. Instead, she doubled down, claiming the money was hers and he had no right to keep it. That was it. Ethan officially cut her off, no more support, ever. He even warned Diane and Robert that if they kept pushing, he'd limit contact with them too. Diane was furious, calling us heartless. Robert tried to mediate, but his allegiance was clear. Chloe sent one final, rage-filled message, blaming us for everything, saying we'd ruined her life. Ethan didn't even respond. We just blocked her. It was a difficult decision, cutting off family, but we had to choose our own peace and self-respect. Looking back, I don't regret it. Chloe had so many chances to take responsibility, and each time, she chose to double down. It wasn't about the dress anymore, it was about her complete lack of respect and her refusal to grow up. The drama has quieted, but it still echoes occasionally. Diane and Robert still try to push for reconciliation, not truly understanding what we went through. I've accepted that the dress is gone. And I'm at peace with our decision. Chloe, on the other hand, is still stuck in her victimhood. Maybe one day she'll realize she did this to herself. Do you think there was anything else we could have done?